Hello, and welcome to the Trans Agenda, a podcast by TransClinique. I'm your host, Niko, and I'm a trans man, and my pronouns are he and they. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we'll be right here talking about the Trans Agenda. In this podcast, we'll delve into the unique challenges and experiences of trans folks, highlighting the voices of those who have lived it themselves. We'll explore issues such as navigating medical and legal systems, finding acceptance within family and community, and combating discrimination and violence. Our guests will share their personal stories and expertise, providing valuable insights and perspectives on this often misunderstood aspect of the human experience. Join us as we strive to educate, inform, and advocate for trans rights and visibility. Hello, and welcome to the Trans Agenda. My name is Niko, and I'm your host, and I'm here with Tamia. Tamia, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your pronouns, how you identify?
Yes, I'm Tamia Collier, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm born and raised in San Francisco, California. That's it?
Yeah, and you're a performer. You do things. Yeah.
So yes, I'm a performer. Actually, I'm a producer of a couple of venues in the Castro, like at Midnight Sun, Badlands, and Toad Hall. I've been performing, I started off as a dancer when I was younger. I've been performing as Tamia, like as Mia Monroe since 2017.
Nice.
So 16, 17. And I'm still there, currently, still doing it.
Yeah.
Old and tired.
So how did you come to realize that you were trans? How was your trans journey?
So I went through some stuff in my life. I did drugs and, I was around people that was trans, I was always androgynous, so I never really understood the trans thing. And I met somebody that was in my life, and she's still in my life. And she told me, she said, go ahead and shave that mustache off and be a girl. And I was like, well, what are you talking about? I was like, no. At that time I was young, so I didn't know. But I think when I turned 22, 23, I started moaning, and then I get off, then I get on, then I get off. And then finally I took it seriously. So probably 2006. That's when I was really on it, seriously.
Yeah.
Then I fell off. Then I got back on it in 2013. So yeah.
How's your experience been since coming out? Do you feel like you're living your true self?
Yeah, I feel like I'm living my authentic self. I have a lot of people that I hang out with that still starting to transition. A lot of the girls in the scene that perform nowadays, they're starting to transition. And I'm like a big sister to them. I tell them the do's and the don'ts and what to do and what not. And I just feel for my success as me being an elder, because I'm an elder, I feel like I need to give back to them and help them on their journey, because my journey, somebody helped me on mine. And as being Black, sometimes you feel kind of hard, you don't know how it's going to be received from people when you walk by, or you always got this agenda where you feel like somebody is saying something, or, and even so sometimes people do, they just don't understand. And then sometimes you got to educate people so them to understand your journey and who you are,
It sounds like community has been really important in your journey.
Yeah,
and, I know that's a big part of being a performer too, in the Castro and all those things. I wonder if you could speak a little bit to that and the place that has had in your life.
Community has definitely, with my family first and foremost, my mom and my sisters and my brothers, they have always been there for me. And also I think becoming a Monroe helped me have a lot of community. And then also I just recently became a Snacks as well, so I have a lot of community, and I love the connection that I have with, and it ain't just friends, it's we're family, so it's a difference with just being friends, and I just see you out at a gig, or we could just call each other and be okay, girl, no, we hang out, we talk all the time, we do stuff like that. And so my community I love performing, and I love being in a community.
How'd you become a Monroe? I wonder for people who don't really know.
Well, I just think that you have to be a performer. You have to be around them. Like, that's with any house, though, because I'm the mother of a ballroom house called Machiavelli in Oakland. And it's completely ballroom, you know, and it's, you know, the father of the house choose me for the mother because he knows that I can do it because I have community. He knows that I'm responsible and I'm reliable. And to become a Monroe, it just you just gotta be in the community. You gotta let Mercedes know that this is what you want to do, and you have to be dedicated, and she has to see your growth. You know, you just can't be in any house. People gotta feel your vibe. They gotta connect with you. You know, I have my own kids. You know, it take a while for me to let them in because I need to know if I take you on, are you going to do what you need to do? Because I can't pamper you. I don't want nobody to pamper me either. So
yeah. Do you feel like how has being a Monroe in a snacks has it been something that has affected your life for the positive in terms of
and just recently I became a snacks. Like I think last year before last, I've been in a row longer, but Monroe's have definitely impacted my life, and I look up to them a lot, and it's because I never understood how trans women can get out there and perform and do what they do, right? And that's why I look up to like Bianca. I look up to a lot of girls because and Kipper and all them because they've been out here doing it. So I never understood it, you know. When you are a performer and I come from a dancer's background, so I don't. Yeah.
What was that moment when you understood? When you were like, oh.
You know what?
Because now you're doing it.
so when I started doing it, and I was like, I felt welcome, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So now I can get out here and I can do what I need to do, and do it at my best ability, and do it for the community. Like, community love to see performers.
Yeah.
They love it.
It really speaks to like representation, right? Like the importance of representation. Seeing Bianca, Pearl, Malay, Kipper,
like all of the girls that like been out here, like, and including me, like it's not that many black girls that perform in the Castro.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just like it's a handful of us, and especially a handful of trans girls. You know, with the new generation, because we're the old generation. With the new generation, you're about to see a lot more trans girls coming out. It's about to be 10, 15 of them floating around in the Castro.
What would you like to see change in the Castro or in the community for the new generation?
For the new generation, I would just want the Castro to be more accepted, like be more, like just be more community for them, you know, like when they come into a bar, it needs to be like fun. It needs to be like, you know, like they welcome, because just because they dress different don't mean that they are different. They still a human being, you know, and that's what it needs to be. It needs to be like, okay, well, they know different than me because we all grew up somewhere. Some people just wanted to stay gay. Some people wanted to be pansexual. Some people wanted, you know, everybody wanted to be their own thing, but should nobody feel singled out. And I feel like the Castro is getting back to where it used to be with being more receptive, you know?
So you're a producer as well, and I want to talk a little bit about like the spaces that you curate.
Okay.
And, you know, like what is what you try to create in your spaces?
Well, when I started, the Monroe started at Midnight Sun. And so we created a space of love, performing, and for ethnic and colored people, right? Because we don't have a lot of bars like that, once again, in the Castro.
Yeah.
So when Mercedes came up with the deal, we did it during the pandemic. And I just created a space of happiness, love, new babies, new beginners that want to perform, that want to get out there. That's the space I create. I create something for new babies. And the old people already got their space, but I created for the new babies because I have a vision that I want to see them grow and thrive to be where we're at.
I love that, like passing on the baton to the next.
Passing on to them, like, you know, like, here, you take it. I want to quit. It's yours. Take it. You know, like, okay, bye. You know, you're hosting today.
Yeah.
I created. I got you. You got it. Okay. You know?
What do you look for in like younger performers?
I just look for like you just be your authentic self. Come in, love your words, do what you want to do, dress nice, and even if you're not the best at that moment, you would get there because as being a baby queen, you're always going to grow to be better. And especially with people like me that want to see you do it and want to see you succeed, because I want to see you succeed. That's why I created the event. You know?
What advice would you give your younger self now that you know?
Oh. You know, my younger self, I would give my younger self that, you know, you did it. Like, you finally went through the trials and tribulations that you went through as growing up as a kid, growing up with a mom that didn't have much, you know, being a bread maker of your family, which that I was, because I'm the oldest. I would tell myself that you did it. You went for your dreams that you wanted to go for, and to keep going and never let a door shut on you, to keep moving.
I wonder if you could speak a little bit to any advice that you would have for a trans person who's trying to start a business or, you know, make a way. 'Cause when you're trans, there's some expenses, and there's also the added thing of like employment is a little bit more difficult. A lot of us find work in the scene for that reason.
Yeah.
So I wonder what advice you have for the younger generation in that way.
Well, first I would say that it's not going to be easy first, because it's still not easy for me. I'm trying to get my own salon. But what I will say is that, you know, we went to the transgender cohort before we can create a space within, so we know what we need to do to get our space. So I'm telling to the younger generation that if this is what you want to do, it's not going to be easy, but you got to take step by step, and you got to do it slowly. Like, you got to put, some people put money away. They perform and they put it in their bank. Like, that's what they do. That's how they support that's how they're going to do for their business. But what I would say is that try to go to some networking programs, like go to transgender district, see if you can do the cohort. It's not going to be easy, though. I'm telling you now, it's not going to be easy. But it did help me a lot. It opened up the doors for me, like, to really think about if this is what I really want to do and how do I want to run my business compared to somebody else's business. Because the way somebody else run their business, I can't run my business like them. So that's what I would give to the younger generation. Like, you got to really make sure that your business is set in stone with how you want to do it. You can't do your business like nobody else's. Yeah. I can't do my business like Niko. Niko can't do his business like me. I can't do my business like nobody. And there's a lot of people in the younger generation that look up to us people, and they want to be just like us, and so they want to do a business just like ours. It's not going to be like that. You know, like, we take years and years and years to get where we at, and we're still growing. So.
Yeah. No, it's really like individual, the way.
Yeah, like, you got to be, your individuality has to be for you.
Use it. There's only one of you.
It's only one. It's not two.
Everyone else is taken, or whatever that saying is. Yeah, I mean, you know, and as long as I've known you, you're always doing so many things. You're performing, you're like starting a business, you're like hosting events, you know, you're working out, you're eating right. Like, it's just so, like, every time I'm like, oh, there's Tamia on her, you know.
Journey.
Yeah. And so, like, how do you, because it takes a lot of strength to keep all of those different horses in the race, so to speak.
I'm going to tell you, my pescatarian diet would be messed off sometimes, I'm telling you. Because it took me, like, during the pandemic, when I first got my body done, I didn't eat nothing. Just a little shrimp, little this, little that, little this, little that. So the second time around I got my body done, they was like, you want to keep your body, you got to start eating more. So I started eating more. Then I slip a little bit, you know. Every once in a while I slip. But I get right back on board. But it just, sometimes it be hard, you know what I'm saying? But it's a mental thing for me, because I know how I want to look. I know how I want my body to look. I know I want to stay in the gym. I don't want to be buff, but I want to work out, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do. I want to work out. And workout is my therapy for me. It's like my mental. You know, and a lot of people just work out to work out. I work out because I release stress from working out.
I guess, what's next for Tamia?
Next is me opening up my own salon. That's my goal. And getting some more surgeries.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. You know, I've been wanting to interview you for so long.
I've been running. I've been like, oh, can we do it this day?
Yeah.
I'm tired. Can we do it the next day?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to get up. I'm going to do it today.
Well, you do so much, so I get it.
I'd be like, oh, God, I gotta get up.
What is your trans agenda?
Be specific when you say that.
Like, what is what you want to achieve in this world as a trans person?
I want to achieve to be like, like, that's a touchy subject because, they're trying to take a lot of stuff from us, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I would want to achieve for me is to prove them wrong, to prove society wrong, to take us out of the box because they got us in a box, and I feel sorry for a lot of other states because we don't have that out here yet. Yeah. So I would just want to achieve that to prove them wrong, to keep us out of the box, like show them that we are people, we are human, and regardless of our sex, don't mean that we're not human. We are still human beings,
Yeah, it goes back to what you're saying about individuality.
Yeah,
too.
and it's just like, I just would want them to like love us, like take us out of the box. That's what I would want to achieve. And I also would want to achieve just to be a loving and open, kind person.
Oh, I love that. Trans individuals face unique challenges every day. From accessing healthcare to navigating legal systems, it is crucial that we work towards creating a society that is inclusive and supportive of people of all gender identities. This means advocating for policies and practices that prioritize the health and well-being of trans individuals, as well as challenging discriminatory attitudes and behaviors where they exist. By coming together to support and uplift trans voices, we can create a brighter and more equitable future for everyone. Thank you for listening, and let us continue to work towards a world where trans individuals can thrive. Follow us on all social media platforms at TransClinique, and don't forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button.